Welcome to another episode of Downright Sports on this very awesome week. You can just call DJ Chase Radio Downright Sports Week. Every Monday, Wednesday, today, Thursday, and Friday, we have done an episode. Well, tomorrow being that, we have done an episode of Downright Sports for the first time. And when Downright Sports is getting ready to celebrate its 10th year of doing this podcast this October, you got to do first. You got to do a first every now and then, and we hope to do it again sometime this summer if I find time. I can tell you what, though, it has been, for me, it's been a ton of fun waking up, getting ready to do this show, preparing for it. It's been a lot of fun for me. I've enjoyed it. But if you've never listened or watched Downright Sports before, I am your host, the Notorious Sports Critic, Brent Reid. This is a show for sports fans that is hosted by a sports fan. So buckle up, kids, because we got a lot to cover in a little bit of time. But let's get the plugs out the way. Follow Downright Sports on all social media platforms. Download the podcast wherever you download your podcast. Download the DJ Chase Radio app. I know you think that sounds crazy, but you got to remind people because you could be listening on somebody else's device and you're like, dang, how do I listen to a show that may allow me to sleep and don't take Narcan? This is what I need, is a show that allows me to rest. A show where a man just talks and rants into a microphone for an hour. It's actually like 40 minutes, but an hour makes it sound better. All right, so last night was game one of the Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA. The New York Knicks, the Indiana Pacers visited the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. I'm going to get something off my chest. There's a lot of Madison Square Garden is the mecca. It damn sure ain't the mecca for the Knicks. Because everybody else got home court advantage in that arena other than the Knicks. Like, if you look at the top point scorers in that arena, they're not Knicks. Like, that's absurd and crazy to think about. But I digress. It's whatever. The Knicks and the Pacers played game one, and up until about the third-ish quarter, it was kind of a back and forth battle. The Knicks did have the lead for the majority of the game, but it was mainly the Knicks were never pulling away until around the fourth when they got up by like 17 points. The story that needs to be told is basically game one was a 7-game series in itself. The first quarter was a back and forth battle, two teams very similar. The Pacers the Pacers couldn't miss. Every three the Pacers took, they would hit consistently. Or two, like the Pacers were getting the shots they wanted and they were hitting. The Knicks, on the other hand, had to scrap to stay in. They hit some critical three-pointers. They had to they couldn't turn the ball over in moments. And whenever the Pacers scored, the Knicks would have to counter until they found themselves back in the game. If you just look at the first quarter, start of the game, Andrews hits a 25-foot jumper. Then Miles Bridges hits a two-pointer. Then Miles Turner hits another three. Jalen Brunson scores. Nielsen scores, which he became the star of the show later. Karl Anthony Towns. Then Halliburton. Brunson. Like, it was just back and forth, consistent, just constantly. The Knicks in the fourth quarter would put it together. They would cause some turnovers. They would the offensive and defensive rebounds was key for the Knicks. Robinson in the game, getting those rebounds, allowed the Knicks to get out in the open, make something happen, allowed them to stay in the game. Up until the fourth quarter. Now, what would happen in the fourth quarter, you may ask, was it was almost like another game in itself. Because the Knicks, people are saying the Knicks were tired. People are saying the Knicks, they were gassed. The Pacers getting out there running and gunning ran the Knicks. That's not what happened. The Knicks got comfortable. The crowd was going crazy. The arena was rocking. People were excited. They were gyrating. They would get, the stadium, as the fans, they felt it. The Pacers never were out of it. And if you've watched the Pacers all postseason, if you paid attention, you didn't have to watch them closely, but if you paid attention, they're a team that until the clock strikes 0, they're in it. They're coached by Rick Carlisle's got a championship. He's taken to the Pacers to the conference finals one other time before he left them with the Dallas. He is a guy. He's gritty. He understands his personality. He's gritty. Like, he knows how to get busy. He knows how to coach his team. And the Pacers are their style is basically they're going to run you out of the gym. They are a better defensive version of what we would have saw from like a Suns team in the early 2000s with the Steve Nash and the Amari Stoudemire. They're a better defensive team than like the Clippers with Paul and the Lob City and all that stuff. Because these guys play defense. Not to mention, they're not relying on 1 or 2 people to win the game for them. Their entire team comes to play. Miles Bridges and Sabaka and Tyler, these guys are the guys that you expect. But now you add this kid, Aaron Naismith, who channeled Reggie Miller. So you're asking Brent, well, you forgot to tell him what happened. So what happened is, in the fourth quarter, let's get you to just the fourth quarter. And let's get you to probably the last... Let's get you to around the... Where is it? Because this is important. I want to get it right. And of course, it's not here. Let's see. Hold on. I told this thing I just wanted the fourth quarter, and it didn't give me the fourth quarter. Here we go. Let's get to the fourth quarter, and let's get down to like the last 3 minutes. Okay, here we go. Let's go to 3:14. So around this time, at 3:14, the Knicks was up 116 to 105. Anyone else in the world is playing, this ball game is over. People are celebrating. They're making reservations for dinner. They can't wait to get their soak on. All this stuff, right? 114. Aaron Naismith hits a 3-point. Let's just call it like that. Jalen Brunson responds back. He makes a 3, putting them up 119, 105. Then here comes Halliburton. He hits a 3. Brunson misses a shot. Toppin gets a defensive rebound. Here he is again. Naismith hits a 3. 119 to 111. Things are getting tighter. Anthony Towns misses a 3. Josh Hart gets a personal foul. Then a couple of free throw shots by Sabaka. He hits both his shots. He hits one, misses one. Brunson drives, hits a layup. Cool. 121, 112. It is 53 seconds left. I'm going to pause here. Jason Williams on ESPN this morning made the best observation. I don't always agree with everything Jason Williams says, but he made a damn good observation. You don't always have to push the ball and score. You have to run out the clock. For those of you that are too young, before there was a shot clock, they used in college basketball, there used to be a thing called the 4 corners. The great Dean Smith would do when basically they got a lead, they would go to 4 corners. And what that meant was you put a guy in each corner and you just pass that thing around. You just keep passing and you keep passing and you keep passing. You just play keep away from the other team, which allowed you to just run out the clock. You can't do 4 corners, but there are ways of doing 4 corners. Dribble, slow it down, set the offense, move the ball around, work it around, then wait for the shot. You make the other team foul you. All right, we're back. It is 51 seconds, and Aaron Naismith again hits another 3. 121, 115. Then Karl Anthony Towns hits a layup. 121, 115. Naismith again hits a 3. I am not making this up. 123, 118. Knicks call a timeout. Pacers challenge. Pacers get the ball back, and then Mitchell. Who cares about all that? Jalen Brunson gets a bad pass. He gets a steal. After the Pacers get the steal from a bad pass, Naismith hits another three to put the Pacers down by 2. I don't have to tell you guys what happened after that, but I will, okay? Basically, the Pacers end up tying the game, then they take the lead, and then they allow Halliburton to hit the flukiest 2-point shot ever, to which is going to make me stop, because he would tie the game, they were going to overtime, Knicks would lose ultimately, all right? Tyler Hansborough, dare I call you a fanboy? Tyler Hansborough, you do the infamous Reggie Miller choke. And the funny thing is that he had that so much in the frontal lobe of his brain, he couldn't wait to cue that. If I'm the Knicks, and I'm going to get to what happened to them in overtime, but if I'm the Knicks, and I see this, first of all, the fact that you came in flat in him doing that choke job, did it make somebody go over there and slap the taste out of his mouth, just explains a lot to me. Because this is why guys like Aaron Brooks, this is why guys like Lance Stevens, this is why guys like Reggie Miller, Draymond Green, this is where they come in key. Because you don't let somebody come into your house, repeat something that happened 30 years ago, and then you get a second crack at it and you just let it slide? Nah, bruh. We not doing that. Halliburton is a reason why you got voted the most overrated player in the world. And I'm going to tell you why. If Halliburton just hit that 3 and celebrated the LeBron beating, was it Detroit or was it the Magic? LeBron hit that shot against the Magic. If you did that, you ran, you let you rock. The fact you acted like down the stretch, like when Reggie beat the Knicks and did that, Reggie hit them threes. Aaron Naismith is the one who saved y'all butt outside of the Knicks being, mismanaging the ball. But Aaron Naismith was the guy last night. And the reason why, and I got to watch Halliburton. Watched him all night. The reason why he was voted the most overrated player, because he is. Yeah, he get buckets here and there, but not in the same case as Jalen Brunson, where Brunson's carrying a team. Not like Jason Tatum, not like Luka Doncic, not like other peers in the league. Bro, you want a good team. And I'm curious, if you take Halliburton in the briefcase, pack him up, and ship his butt to the Charlotte Hornets, or you even put him on a Utah, somebody you could put Brunson on any team in the league. He get busy. Now that's not to say Halliburton ain't a great player. He's a good player, but you don't who are you to do the choke job? You threw up a shot. Let me say you threw up a shot and got a lucky ass bounce. You ain't swish that. You ain't know that was going in. If you can tell him the way he shot it. Oh, I just got to throw something up. Game 2 is Friday. And the question every Knicks fan is about to ask, or has asked, is basically, is this series over? It might be. Because the Knicks looked gassed. Okay? They looked tired. They looked worn out. They looked beaten. They had 2 opportunities to tie the game between Towns and Brunson, and neither one of them hit the rim. That's gassed legs. This is where, if you're the Knicks, and again, I'm stealing all this from what I heard on Get Up this morning. If you're the Knicks, right, you look at a situation where you had a Cameron Payne who came off the bench and gave you 6 points, but was 2 for 5 for 3, was hot. Miles Bridges has been solid for you. Mitchell Robinson, and then you got Josh Hart, OG Anobi. These guys got to get a lot more shots up. OG took 15 shots. Hart only took 6 shots. Bridges took 16. That's pretty solid. And then off the bench, Payne had 7 shots. Bridges had 7 shots. When you look at the paces, look how they spread this thing out, right? Sanaka, I'm about to mess up his name. 16 shots. Naismith, 13 shots. Turner, 11 shots. Nimble, 10 shots. The briefcase had 23 shots, the most shots. Off the bench, Toppin, 9 shots. Bryant, 3 shots. TJ McCollum, 9 shots. Very across the board. Everybody, it's hard in the game of basketball where it's one ball, but because they play in such a great system and they play in a high-paced offense, they make sure everybody kind of touches the ball, gets enough shots, gets the ball up, everybody shoots. The Knicks needed that last night. Jalen Brunson had 25 shots. Towns had 17 shots, right? OG and Bridges, 16 and 15 isn't terrible. But I would like to see the bench of the Knicks get some more. They need to play a little bit more. Brunson, 38 minutes. Towns, 39 minutes. OG, 42 minutes. Bridges, 46 minutes. Hart, 44 minutes. Robinson had 21 minutes off the bench, which isn't bad. And then Bridges had 25 minutes. But maybe give, Halliburton 42 minutes, which was tied with OG, right? But, if you look on the bench, Toppin 20 minutes. I'm not even going to butcher his name. Number 00 on the Pacers had 21 minutes. They had a guy off, they had 2 guys off the bench with around 20-ish minutes. The Knicks had 2 guys off the bench, 20-ish minutes. But, are the minutes smart minutes? Are they productive minutes? Are they useful minutes? Or you just use this so a guy can get a cup of drink of water? The Knicks need to, they got to manage their time better in a way. They got to, you can't have your star player, Jalen Brunson, with 5 fouls going into overtime. I'm pretty sure him playing with them 5 fouls has something to do with how aggressive he could be on offense and how aggressive he could be on defense. You just, you got to do something a little bit better. You got to, going into game 2, the Knicks, what they need to do, and I said this yesterday before the game, the Knicks need to have an old school game. The Pacers want to run. The Knicks is built to play forever, but they not built to run. They marathoners, where the Pacers are track and field, cross-country guys. They want to run as fast as they can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I couldn't allow that not to go. But if you're the Knicks in game 2, why not go out there? And because the Knicks got to have another center out there, I'm pretty sure. But why not go out there and start the game with Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns? Go with the traditional center power forward dynamic. Mess the paces up a little bit. Slow the game down. Grind it out. Beat them up a little bit. Because here's the thing. A team not running guns, you know what you can't do? If you're beating up, you can't run and gun if you're beating up. If somebody's bodying you and bullying you, that's the whole concept. And you're just allowing the Pacers to go out there and do it. The Naismith kid was open every possession. Not a hand on him. And I don't know what the hell was wrong with Josh Hart's shoes last night. He just kept, when I played high school ball, my criticism was I always fell. Yo, Brent, you always on the floor. Watching him last night, I could have got a damn contract in the NBA because he stayed on the floor. Either everybody's hands was slippery or they couldn't stay. What was wrong with the moisture on the Knicks last night? Why was everybody wet? Why was everybody slipping and sliding? Were there no towels? Was the humidity turned up in the arena? What was wrong? And what were the Pacers wearing that the Knicks didn't have on? I want answers, people. I want a congressional investigation on game 1 last night. I suggest that Charles Schumer and Cory Booker, 2 representatives of New York, and Alexander Cortez get a congressional hearing today, because ain't doing nothing. Get a congressional hearing today on what happened in game 1 with the arena floor just when the Knicks played, the towels and the ball handler, and who was in charge of that sticky pad on the court. I demand this. I'm a fool. All right. So game 2 is going to be Friday, tomorrow night. The last Downright Sports of this week. We'll preview that game, and I'll rant some more. I'm sure I will. It was just like, I was stunned. But I'll say this. I sat there the whole time. And this happens every time you watch a Knicks game. Watching a Knicks game is like watching a Mets game. Or a Giants game. Or any New York team that's not the Yankees. You don't feel like they're going to win. And I'll even throw the Yankees in there in recent years. Like, you just don't feel like when they have the lead that they're going to win. And you're just going to find a way to fumble. Which is so crazy to think about. Because I'm a New Yorker. And maybe we're a little cocky without winning anything. And that's what kind of defines us. Like, we haven't won jack, but like, we're going to tell you how great we are. Like, I ain't got no dubs. We're just going to tell you how great we are. And we're going to talk ourselves into winning. But here's the thing. The Giants, the Jets, the Yankees last year in the World Series, the Mets every time they breathe, and the Knicks, they cannot throw Buffalo in there because they can't get it done either. It's basically you're a team from the Excelsior State. We can't count on chickens until the clock is done. Because dang darn it, we just don't know how to just finish the job. All right? All right. Thank you all. This is Downright Sports. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, we're going to take a quick break. If you're listening on DJ Chase Radio, well, buckle up, kids. I'm going to throw a little 50 cent at you. And if you're listening to the podcast, you're going to get a soundbite in the next segment. All right? We'll be in the next segment. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the debate of all debates. Shaq and I don't debate it, excuse me. I argue it. And I argue it well. That Shaq and Kobe, without any question, are the greatest duo in NBA history. That's right. Buckle up, kids, because that's the type of show you got today. You got a show with me, the Notorious Sports Critic, who you can follow on all social media, who you can follow on any platform. Not any platform. I'm no longer on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky now, believe it or not. But download, subscribe, and like on YouTube. Become a fan on Facebook. And download the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. This is Downright Sports.